If someone was to say to me, hey Brian, I want to go out of the United States. I've never left the States before, but I want to travel someplace. It's different from any place that I'm used to, but not so different that I'd be terrified and couldn't enjoy myself. Where should I go? Well, I'd pretend to ponder on it for about 30 seconds and then I'd blurt out, Panama. Panama being in Central America, it was, there's a lot of history there, a lot of history before the Europeans got there, of course, but there's a lot of influences from the French, the Americans, the Spanish, the Colombians, and the indigenous tribes that live there in a really relatively small area of land. If you don't speak Spanish, that's not really a big deal. I don't speak Spanish and I had a ball. Of course, I'm not really scared to make an ass of myself either. Google Translate is a wonderful tool. Pull your phone out of your pocket, start talking into it. It records it, translates it, and says it's back in Spanish. And then they can answer you the same way too. It's a pretty nifty tool. So don't let that stop you. The US dollar is used widely. In fact, you go to an ATM, put your card in, it gives you US dollars. Doesn't give you a choice. All the prices, everything is in dollars. So you pay cash for something, you pay in dollars. You don't have to worry about an exchange rate. Easy, easy. Voltage is 110. The outlets are just like we use in the United States. Getting around is very easy thanks to Uber. There's also a metro system in Panama City. Getting there was pretty easy. I left from central South Carolina. I flew 45 minutes to Atlanta. From Atlanta, I took off and landed in Panama City about 4.5 hours later, something like that. So it's 5, maybe a little over 5 hours to get there. It's pretty quick. I mean, considering you can fly the same distance west and not make it to California at the same time. This is rolling into Ciudad Panama. No big deal. Wow. Trash bandits. Out beyond the bridge there, you can see ships just on the horizon. And they're all lined up waiting for their turn to pass through the Panama Canal. This is on the Pacific side. I'm just on the edge of Panama City. And as I pan to the right, the view gets closer and closer to the entrance to the canal. You won't be able to see it from here, but that's the layout. Panama's had a love-hate relationship with the United States for most of its existence. The United States helped Panama to gain their independence from Colombia, and shortly thereafter joined in a joint venture to build the Panama Canal that Panama has benefited from for over 100 years now. At the same time that the canal was being built, though, the United States' cultural influence kind of started bleeding in where we wouldn't have wanted it to. This is during the Jim Crow period of our history. And because of that, we treated a lot of the workers, mainly based on racial lines, unequally, both socially and economically. Then in December of 1989, an event that's still pretty fresh in the collective minds of the Panamanians, the United States invaded their country to arrest Manuel Noriega, their president. Unfortunately, though, between 500 and 600 military and civilians were killed during that invasion. Sadly, a lot of the people who were killed ended up being buried hurriedly and didn't get to be laid to rest by their families. It's always the innocent people that suffer the most during combat. This wasn't happening yesterday, and it wasn't happening earlier today. They started shutting off traffic flow at this roundabout between the fish market and like the business district and Casco Viejo. the old town. So I don't know if this is a sign of like stuff starting to get keyed up or what, but it could be an indicator. Kind of curious. We'll see. So I walked a ways, I don't know, half mile, 3/4 of a mile. There's another checkpoint here where they had the same road shut down. Traffic is leaving the city but not coming in. And off in the distance to my right, which would be south, I hear loud chanting. So I guess they got started a little earlier than I expected. Problem is the chanting is between me and my hotel. And calling in an Uber if traffic's shut down from this direction, I don't know if they could get to me yet or not. Okay, this is the noise that I was hearing. Fortunately, it's kind of early still, so not a lot of turnout just yet, but as it gets later, I'm sure it'll get rowdier. I was supposed to be headed out to the Caribbean coast this morning, but I guess that's not going to work out. My friend Jordy was going to drive me out to Portobello, and he messaged me yesterday evening, and he said that the word is that they're going to close everything down with a vengeance today. And that's apparently what has happened. So getting out of the Caribbean coast is not really in the cards for me this trip, it looks like. Pretty much stuck in the city, I guess, which is not really where I want to be. So anyway, Jordy was coming to get me. We were going to go down to the old town, and he just texted me and says, I'm going to be about 45 minutes late because I have to figure out a way around this big protest. So here it is, 8:30 in the morning, and they've already got everything locked down. So today ought to be a hoot. Let's see what happens. I don't want to give anybody the idea that that Panama City is nothing but, you know, chaos and protests and whatever. I'm strolling down what I guess you could call the median of the Pan American Highway right now. They've turned it into a beautiful green space. I'd almost call it a park. Very clean. Still plenty of traffic flowing in both directions now. There are joggers out jogging and strollers out strolling and people doing what they do. Ain't too bad of a day, but good God, it's muggy. Okay, so this is a bit surreal. I'm just gonna video and take in the moment, so sorry if my shots are off, but I'm not paying any attention to you. Hola. Brian. Yes.
Brian, muy buena gente, buena persona. Sí.
Habla español, no español.
Poquito malo.
Your Spanish not very good looking.
No, not at all. Yeah, my Spanish is terrible, but I try.
Okay.
Ajá, está bien. Adelante, pues yo.
Gracias. Buenos días. Hola.
Evaribia.
Yes, I remember that. She was playing a turtle shell. Fried tilapia and plantains. The tilapia came from right out there. The plantains came from Right over there. It doesn't get any better than that.
Put some sugar on it, and then the fire ants.
No.
It's like a torture device, and it's when you.
So your toes go in the holes here.
Yeah, they have to raise up that, and then you are like trapped there.
And they just put sugar on your toes and let the ants eat for how long?
A day.
For a whole day.
And then they clean it for you when it's too much pain. They clean it, and then they leave you there on pain, because you know this is making pressure down.
Yeah.
And at the same time
the ants are eating your skin.
Yeah, and that's, you have an inflammation, so it's making pressure outside.
Wow. So what type of offense would land you in the?
For example, they you steal something.
Oh, okay.
Stealing, cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, things like that.
All right. So I guess we're doing this. Part of the safety briefing was, if for some reason we were to capsize, don't swim to the grass, swim to the bank where you can see the rocks, because caiman and crocodiles hang out in the grass. So you don't want to make it easy for them. So you have to swim where you can see where it's safer. Good to know. So we hiked all the way up here to this waterfall. We were going to take a dip at the base of it. I think we've all three changed our minds. I'm also on a personal mission while I'm up here. I was given the honor by a lady I've never met to deliver her son's ashes to this part of the world. So I'm on a tributary of the Chagres River in the middle of Panama, and here I've got part of the ashes of her son, Gage Kuhn, who served in 82nd Airborne. He left us too soon. I'm a bit shaky because I'm quite honored to have this privilege to deliver a brother veteran's ashes. Ma'am, mission accomplished. This is Independence Plaza in Casco Viejo, the old part of Panama City. This is like the original square that was built by the French when they got here, when they first started building the canal. The hotel that I'm staying in tonight is right here behind me, which is a shame it's not going to be in the shot as the oldest in the city. Morning, everybody. I felt compelled this morning to make a video, which I never do, and I'm starting to understand why now. But since today is the day of my 50th birthday, I kind of felt like it's just the right thing to do. So I tried a few times today. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'll explain why. But tried a few times today, and it just didn't come out like I wanted it to. And I realized that it was because I needed to have something to say, really. I was just going to tell about my morning or some bullshit. So on my hike up here, I just climbed Cerro Ancon, which is Ancon Hill. It's like a little national park in the middle of Panama City with some great views. But anyway, I just did that on foot. And this is mainly a message for the youngins out there, especially between like 30 and 35. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to make this climb. I did it on foot. Apparently you can take a bus, whatever. I walked up here. But 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that. 10 years ago, I'd have been able to damn near run up here. The point is, a lot can happen in 10 years. So you're sitting there, you're hitting 35, you got kids in high school maybe, and you're like, damn, I'm getting old. No, you're not. A lot can happen in 10 years. So don't sell yourself short. Get out there. Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here in the hotel lobby. I've checked out. I'm just waiting for my ride to the airport. I showed up here a week ago with no plan other than to just say yes when the opportunity arises. Yes to new experiences. Yes to adventure. I didn't know anybody in the country. I'm here alone. Had no idea how it was going to go. But now that I'm leaving, I can tell you that it's been an absolutely incredible experience. I can't thank Panama enough. I feel like I've made friends with everybody in the country now. It's been very warm, very inviting, very exciting. And I'd invite anybody else to come down and do the same thing that I did. I've been to a lot of places in the world where you can tell tourists are just an inconvenient necessity because they make their money off of tourists and they need our money, so they put up with us. Panama is not like that, though. They may need our money, but at no time did I feel anything but genuine welcome and warm gratitude that of everywhere that I could have gone in the world, I came to see them. But despite our tumultuous history, we still get along. It seems that the Panamanians are able to distinguish between U.S. citizens and the U.S. government. And the government does not act for the citizens, and the citizens don't represent the government. I can really appreciate that, and I think we can learn from that. A person's government does not determine how we should treat their nationality. And despite what we may think of a specific country's government, we should treat the citizens as we'd want to be treated, with love and respect. Thank you, Panama.